Y'all, it is raining again. But today we are committed. We're going to still be productive because today we're going to spend the entire day in our hot tunnel. Y'all, I've been talking about 40 days a night of rain, and now we're on day 41. It decided it wanted to be an overachiever, but that's okay. In this video, you're going to see me and my husband persevere as we still garden in the hot tunnel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by and come hang out with me in the garden today in our hot tunnel. If you are new here, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. And in Tennessee, we have decided that we want to get the most rain of the year award because it has been raining nonstop. We had a couple of weeks of sunshine and now the rain is back very unexpectedly. It was supposed to be sunshine today, but it's not. But we decided, you know what? We ain't got nothing but time because we had committed to this day to get a whole bunch of stuff done outside, but now we're taking the outside and bringing it inside, and there's plenty of stuff to do out here in the hot tunnel. So you're going to hang out with me in the garden today. We have tons to do. We have harvesting to do. We have onions to take care of. We have flour. Like, we got all the things. And I got to show you what has already shown up in the garden. So I cannot wait to hang out with you on this video. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Subscribe in faith because you're going to love this content. You're going to love this community and you're going to love me as much as I love you. And for those who have been here before, you know how much I love you and I appreciate you for keep showing up. And y'all, we just hit another milestone. Now, by the time this video hit, I don't know what the milestone will be, but we did hit 30,000 subscribers. Yay, yay, yay. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. But y'all, now let's just jump on into it. Now, my husband has been here and he has had a head start on me. So my husband has probably been down here an hour and a half before me because I was in the house doing breakfast and doing all the things. And he's like, I'm coming down here. I'm about to get it started. Now, the first thing that we have down here is we have a jungle growing in our greenhouse. So he came down here to weed and to start pulling up stuff. And he has already gotten quite a bit accomplished when it comes to that. But also he has been harvesting. So let me take you over to what he's already harvested before I got here. And then we have more harvesting to do. And then you and I are going to take care of our onions. We're going to prune our tomatoes. We're going to do all the things. But let me show you, y'all, when I tell you it was a jungle out here, it kind of still is, but it's better than it was an hour ago. Y'all, at the opening of our greenhouse, you see all this laying down where he's weeded it. It was grass growing up about knee high. This is the first paper we laid down, this side right here. You can see that this side is intact because that's the newer paper. But this side right here was the cheap paper when we first laid it down in our hot tunnel, what, 5 years ago, 4 years ago? And so it needs to be redone because the paper is like not even there, which is why we have grass growing all the way in here. You can see here where this paper is torn and needs to be pulled up. Here's a pile that he pulled from right here. There is another pile there. And of course, we still have plenty of weeds for him to get all along in there. And y'all, I'm showing y'all all my business, okay? All my business. Plenty and plenty and plenty of weeds amongst all the food growing. Because food don't care. It's going to grow. Now, I feel like I just brought you into my house that's real dirty and let you just walk through and see it. That's very uncomfortable. But y'all, this is reality. As much as I want this greenhouse or hot tunnel to be immaculate, it is very rarely immaculate just because, y'all, it's my husband and I most of the time, okay? And a lot of the times it's just me. When my husband is busy with ministry and events and things like that, I appreciate my husband's help. He helps me as much as he possibly can. But y'all, it's just the two of us. And so we have a lot to maintain and to manage. And so, especially during this time of the year, during the summer, it's about planting and harvesting the food and preserving the food and just trying to keep up with the harvest, which we're behind on harvesting too. And so trying to keep it weeded, trying to keep the paper down, trying to just do all the things and keep it maintained can be a challenge. Now, again, some of the stuff is a result of us not doing the right thing when we first got the hot tunnel, but that's because we didn't know any better. So when you know better, you do better, but you got to have time to do better. Okay? So that's the situation. But I may not have a Pinterest looking garden or hot tunnel, But one thing I do have is a lot of food. I have a lot of food. And to God be the glory for that. But let's jump in. Let me show you what he's already harvested. And then let's you and I jump in into the part that we're going to do. Okay, so he's already harvested. Y'all seen this basket many a times. We are cherry tomato rich. Tons of cherry tomatoes. Is this all of them, honey?
In here. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all of them in here. They look so good. And so far we have 3 cucumbers. I think the rest of them you said were bloated.
They were bloated, yeah.
So because we just didn't.
We didn't get out here fast enough.
Yeah. Okay, but we got more to harvest, so we'll just keep going. Okay, we forgot about, he also harvested these tomatoes. These are gorge. Looking so good. These are all, oh, that one's eaten, baby. We got to get rid of that one. Yes, but these look great. Okay, very good. Hey, y'all, let me pop in real quick and tell you about my fall garden workshop. The fall garden blueprint workshop is going to be July the 19th virtually. That means anybody can come, no matter what city, state, or country you are in. It is July 19th from 2 to 4. If you cannot make it during that time with me live, you can also register for the class. You'll get a replay as well as a digital companion guide. This class is going to teach you everything you need to know about fall gardening, what to plant, when to plant, the timing, how to extend your season harvest until the first frost, all the things. And so if you have been struggling with a fall garden, if you have never planted a fall garden and you want to figure out what's the fall garden blueprint, register at the link in the description box below. Also, I'll make it the first comment. I cannot wait to see you in the class. Okay, overall, our tomatoes are looking good, except the ones that have hornworm damage. I'll already show you. There's one right up there at the top that has hornworm damage. Let me zoom in right there. You can see that right there. There's some hornworm damage. It's not on all of them, so hopefully we can kind of keep it at bay. But let me just go ahead and get to pruning first. And so basically I'm coming through and I'm pruning all the suckers. If you can see that here, the sucker is the part that's the V in the middle. I'm taking all of those off and we'll clip in whatever else needs to be clipped. So I'm just gonna go through the whole entire row and get this part done. This is a task that I literally do every single week. Prune and clip my tomatoes. I have to do that in order to stay on top of them. If you let 2 weeks go, it gets a little bit bushy and unmanageable. Now, I will tell you, out of full transparency, usually by like August or so, I start to slow down on this process. But in June and July, your girl is going strong, getting this done every single week. I even have tomatoes now that are so tall that I'm not even able to clip them because they're above my height. And so I have to get my husband to do it. But I told him that's why the Lord gave you that height. I mean, he's 6'6". Make it work. Do something. So he always helps me out. But I am taking off any of the bottom leaves. I'm taking off the suckers. I'm clipping what I can. At the same time, I'm inspecting to see if we have more severe hornworm damage. I only see like 3 or 4 plants out of, I probably have a good 30 tomato plants between these 2 rows, and only 3 or 4 are affected. So that's good. Hopefully we can keep it at that. And as you can see, I still have lots of tomatoes hanging on the vine. Now the tomatoes that I'm growing here in this section are indeterminate tomatoes. I think there's one at the very end that is not an indeterminate. And so for indeterminate tomatoes, I cannot stress the importance enough of pruning your tomatoes because it's going to just make it more manageable. It's going to help with disease and pest pressure. Now look, I'm pruning and doing all the things and I still have hornworms. But if it was bushy and a mess and I could not see as clearly, I may have hornworms longer before I even see them or see the damage. And so I'm just a big proponent of pruning your tomatoes, because to me, once I started pruning, I started having more abundant tomatoes and I had less pest pressure, or at least I saw the pest pressure before it was too far gone. So that is my practice. I know that some people don't prune, but to me, it just makes it a lot more manageable to do. Okay, we got all the tomatoes pruned and clipped. I clipped as much as I could. Some of it is too high that my husband's gonna have to do, but overall, we got them pruned and clipped. So let me show you the hornworm damage, and I'll pop a picture up here of the hornworm. I probably have maybe 3 or 4 tomato plants that have the hornworm damage. The rest of them are looking okay so far. My husband probably threw away maybe a couple of tomatoes that had been eaten, but you saw what we had already harvested as well. So let me just turn the camera around and show you what they're looking like up close. So overall, you can see that we still have plenty of tomatoes on the vine ripening where the plants look healthy. I see a sucker that I need to come back and get. I missed that one. I usually go through twice because it's hard to get them all. But like you can see, that tomato plant is way up above the rafters, which most of them are. But here's one that has hornworm damage. You can see that the leaves are gone. So that's the first sign that I saw. We've already taken the hornworm off. But you can see like some of the poop there. And you can see there's a good shot of what it looks like. So we'll clean up all of this and then we'll treat it. We won't pull the plant. We will see, again, because I still have tomatoes on here that look great, that were not affected. So that's one. Let's see, I thought there was another one down here. I'm looking. There's one. It was 2 or 3 that I saw. Now, oh, here's another one. We passed by it. So this one you can see where some of the leaves are missing right there. So if you go to your garden and you see, of course, plants with leaves, which they're supposed to have leaves, but then you start to see this, just know you have a hornworm. Know you have a hornworm. The second row, again, pretty much looks like the same as the first row. I have a couple back there with hornworm damage, so a total of 4 total. Now, when it comes to hornworm damage, if you can catch it as soon as possible, the better. Now, when I saw mine, it had to happen within 48 hours. So there's only one day that I missed actually looking at the tomato plants. And the day before that, they were just fine. So I was probably 48 hours in, and it got 4 of my plants. And probably cost me, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 tomatoes. So not bad in the grand scheme of things. But one of the things, again, that they're going to give you a sign of the no leaves for sure. Sometimes you can see them, but I usually don't see them until they're really, really big on, or until I see the damage. But you can get a black light and come out to your garden at night when it's dark, and the black light will show them up. They kind of glow in the dark. Now, I've never done that because by the time night comes, I'm already tired and I've been in the garden already. And so I never come back out here, even though that's what I intend to do. So I've never done it, but I know that it works because plenty of people have done it. In terms of treating the hornworms, BT is an organic thing that you can use on your tomatoes. I'll show you that. It's Bactocilius thurogenesis or something like that, but it's called BT for short. That's what you can use for your tomatoes to help with the hornworms, as well as just keeping airflow and things like that. Now, even though I have been pruning, even though I have clear space at the bottom of all of my tomatoes, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have hornworms, right? It's just going to help prevent that. And again, I had them this early last year, I think in July, but I still have had a very bountiful tomato harvest. Now, if I had to guess, it's been very, very humid in the greenhouse, very hot and very humid, which can definitely invite the pest. At this point, I'm not overly concerned. I've seen it. I know they're here. So now we're just going to do our best to get rid of them. So that's what's going on with the tomatoes. Now let's kind of switch gears and let's harvest the rest of the stuff that we have to harvest. I just harvested 4 zucchini. I'll show you that at the end. But I see peppers that need to be harvested. So let's get a basket and let's harvest those.
So I was recording this clip and somehow my mic turned off, so I apologize. But basically what I was saying in this part right here was that we had harvested the peppers. My bell peppers are moving slow, as bell peppers do. Like they're there, they're green, but I'm waiting for them to blush or to change colors. So what we harvested were red ember, which is a cayenne pepper that I love, that it's much bigger than the traditional long thin cayenne pepper. And then we also harvested some Jimmy Nardellos. Those were the two main peppers that we harvested. And so my husband is still bagging up some of the trash and the weeds and stuff that he's pulled. But now you and I are about to move on to our next project, which are our onions.
Okay, so we have these onions here. These are onions that you and I harvested together. Probably, it's been at least 3 weeks. It might have been a month. I'll pop the video up here in case you didn't see it. We harvested a total of, I think, almost 300 onions. So these onions specifically are from our outside garden. We have other onions that we harvested from our backyard garden that's in our root cellar. But they have been in here curing. And somebody asked me the other day, hey, is it okay for your onions to be in the greenhouse? They are. So yes, I've done this for the past 2 or 3 years, and it really just came down to space. Now, it has not been as hot the past 2 years and intense with the heat wave like it was this past week. So hopefully they are still good. Yep, they still feel firm. So what you're looking for when you're curing your onions is that you want it to be completely dry, like completely, right? There is like one little piece of green there. I don't let that bother me, or I'll just take it in the house and use it. But let me show you one that's completely dry. This is how they will store. These are yellow candy onions. They will store for about 6 months total. So I probably have 5 months left, because usually around November they start to look bad, and I will bring them in the house. I will put them in the food processor, slice them up, and then just put them in freezer bags and just use them as frozen chopped onions in meals for like quick, easy grab. But then usually after like November, December, I don't have any fresh onions, just because they're not going to last the whole year in storage. But I'll grow enough to usually last me about 300 or 400 onions will usually last me to maybe February or March, meaning I'll have them frozen in the freezer after November. And so usually I will just buy fresh onions from Azure Standard until I have onions again. So what we're going to do is, we're going to cut the top to about right here, and we'll store it just like that. Y'all, is this not a beautiful onion? It's a beautiful onion, and it is large. It is solid. I don't feel any softness whatsoever. So I'll do a little bit of this at the bottom, and then these will get ready to go in our root cellar, and we will have them for the next several months. So let's just get to cutting the tops off. I have a big red tote here that we're going to put them all in, and then my husband will take them up to the house and we'll put them in the root cellar. But then we'll be able to clear this space here where they've been drying kind of on this wagon. And this wagon, we kind of laid the sides down, and it has not holes, but it's open. It's grated open. So they've been able to get airflow even though it's been hot in the tunnel.
So curing the onions is just as important and critical as it is growing the onions and harvesting the onions. And so when you first pull onions from the ground, you can go ahead and eat them. We cure them if we want to store them. And so obviously for me, I can't eat 300 onions that fast, but I want to make sure that I'm clear that yes, you can eat the onions as soon as you pull them up from the garden. But if you want to store them long term, you need to cure them. And so basically you just put them in ideally a cool, dry place, and let them cure for about 2 to 3 weeks until all the green is gone and they're completely brown. Now for me, because I have so many and I'm limited on space, and these particular ones came from my outside garden, I was not going to transport them all the way up to the root cellar. And so for these, I just cure them in my greenhouse. I've done it for the past 2 years and I haven't had any issues. You do this the same thing when you're curing your garlic, as well as your sweet potatoes, as well as your other potatoes. You just want to be in a cool, dry place where it's not in direct sunlight if possible.
Y'all, it started, well, we had the doors closed because the dogs were trying to come in with the rain and the thunder. I'm like, go to the house. You're not coming in here. But y'all, now the sun is coming out. There's so many lessons in the garden. The sun will always shine again. Let that rest on your spirit, okay? If you're in a season that looks like rain and thunder, the sun will shine again. Okay, so y'all, I'm out of breath because I'm tired. I'm soaking wet because even though it wasn't hot in here, it started getting hot real fast. But let me show you because I cannot lift it up. These are all up. Let me just take you off the tripod so you can see this beauty. Look at all of these beautiful onions. This tote is definitely half full. We have some more onions on the table that I'm going to show you, but they are so beautiful. Y'all, these are the biggest, most beautiful onions I have ever grown. They are huge. Okay, but we have more. So we have these here that we need to snip, and we'll get this space in our table back. These are ones that we pulled from the raised beds probably when we did the potatoes. So that was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And for the most part, these are all dry. You can see here. So I'm going to snip those, clear this table, and we'll add them to that bucket. This basket is about 3/4 of the way full. This is the final. I wonder how much this weighs. My husband, he's going to really have to put some on this to lift it, but he's going to say, well, that's why I lift weights. Beautiful. And then here are our Anaheim peppers, bell peppers, zucchini. Those are our Jimmy Nardello, our tomatoes, and then our cherry tomatoes. Okay, y'all, we got a lot accomplished in the garden, and the sun is now back out, which is amazing. Amazing. But you know what? The Lord always knows what's best, because had it been sunshine all today, I'm going to be honest, these onions probably wouldn't have got done. The pruning wouldn't have got done right now, and nor would my husband have been in here weeding. He would have been outside mowing grass and all of that, which he can now go do because we still have about 5 hours of daylight, which is fantastic. And so sometimes the rain has to come just for you to focus on some stuff that you need to get done, that you've been procrastinating, that you would not do. That would be like, it's like number 3 on the priority list, but now it needs to be number 1. All the things, all the things. So I'm not going to complain because we got a lot done in the greenhouse. We were able to get our onions done in here and clear up this wagon. It can go somewhere. It is completely clear. The table is halfway clear. We got everything out here that could be harvested. We got harvested, which is a blessing. I'm not going to fertilize now or apply the BT. I'll come back out here later on this evening when the sun goes back down. I probably should have done it earlier, but hey, that's okay. I don't want to do it when the sun and it's actually heating up out here right now. So that is fantastic. So thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. We got lots done. We got a nice big harvest. I'm excited about all the things. Yes, and yes, and yes. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. And remember, y'all, this is all a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.